It's not that hard to do, because human beings, we all do stupid things, we also do some wonderful things. And there's always something in every human being which is worthy and lovable. Otherwise, there'll be some people who have no friends at all. And everyone has somebody who loves them, even if it's your dog. You know, look at a dog. You know, it doesn't matter what sort of type of bastard you are, you come home and the dog always wags its tail, very pleased to see you. And that sort of dog can see something inside of, you know, even the worst characters. Now, if the dog can do that, and they're supposed to have much less intelligence than you have, can't you see something to wag your tail for when you see somebody? And if you can start to look for this in the so-called enemy, you can find it. Once you find it, you've got a bridge. Once you've got a bridge, you've got something to respect in the other person. The problem is not the whole person, it's just part of their behaviour. You respect the other part, now you've got something to work on. And once you've got something to work on, there can be a solution there. Too often in life, when we try and settle a conflict, we don't respect the other person, and they don't respect us. And then we put huge barriers up between us, and there's no possibility there. A bridge has to be made first of all, and that's the bridge of respect and value. And once you start to do that, there's all sorts of possibilities that open. First of all, there's a possibility of forgiveness, letting go of that past behaviour which caused the conflict in the first place. I don't know how many of us or how many people in our society still carry on the past. They carry it around and they use that as a huge barrier to stop the resolution and the friendship between the peoples of our world. You know, who did what to who and when and how and why. And sometimes we can't even remember what we did. It must have been something bad, but we don't really know. But is that the real reason? Is that important? Isn't it more wonderful actually to forgive and let go of the past? People keep saying, oh, we will have to learn from the past. We have to resolve the mistakes of the past first of all before we can move forward. But you all know that famous story. And I don't know, I'm going to say it again now, it's one of my favourite stories. I don't know how many times you've heard this. The two chicken farmers. Those who haven't heard this story before, this is a humding of a story. And it deserves being said again, because I don't know how many times people keep collecting the shit of the past. The two chicken farmers, chicken farmer number one goes into his shed early in the morning to collect the produce of the night before, takes his basket into the shed and fills it full of chicken shit, and leaves the eggs in the shed to rot. Chicken farmer number two takes the basket into the shed, fills it full of eggs, and leaves the shit to rot like you're supposed to do. So he takes the eggs back into the house, makes an omelette for his family, and sells the rest of the eggs in the market for cash. That's a smart chicken farmer. The meaning of that story, and this was actually coming from Ajahn Chah, the meaning of that story is when you collect the past, what do you collect? Are you a shit collector or an egg collector? And how many people, when we think of what happened today, last week, or in the history of our race or our culture, how many of us always collect the shit? We should leave the shit in the shed to rot. And when it actually changes, it becomes fertilised, which is actually useful. In the meantime, we should take the eggs, because we learn much more from the successes of life than we ever learned from the mistakes. But when we focus on the mistakes of life, it creates conflict. You did that. Yeah, but I did the same. I did something worse. And that never ends the conflict which we have, because we can't change the past. All we can do is forgive and let go. But why don't we remember the eggs of the past, the beautiful success stories of the past?